Hey friends, I'm going to tell you a story that's found in the book of Genesis. Once there was a man named Abram. Now Abram loved God very, very much, and he had faith in God. Abram was married to his wife, Sarai. Now later, God would change their names to Abraham and Sarah. Sadly, Abram and Sarai could not have any children. It must have been sad for them to think about how they would never have children or grandchildren or great-grandchildren, but Abram still had faith in God, and he never stopped loving God. God loved Abram and Sarai, but God also loved all of the other families in the world. God made a plan to bless everyone. God's plan was that he would use Abram and Sarai to begin a family that would become very, very big. Their family would be so big, it would be an entire nation. One day, God told Abram to leave his country and to go to a new land that he wouldn't show him, or that he would show him eventually. He didn't show him at first, but Abram went, and he knew that God would show him where to go. He followed and obeyed God. Now, this was scary for Abram, but he trusted in God and he was willing to do what God said. Abram and Sarai began packing their things, all of their belongings, into their minivan. Not quite. Probably more like a caravan, even though the Bible doesn't really tell us that it was a camel. But we're just going to say onto their camels. They packed all of their belongings. And they went to their new land. Abram and his relatives left his home country forever. Now, Abram was never a perfect man, but he continued to have faith in God. And God kept his promises to Abram, and God protected him. God had a very special plan for Abram. Do you remember how I said that Abram and Sarai couldn't have children? God promised that he would change that someday. God wanted Abram to have a family that would be a blessing to everyone. God would start a great nation through Abram and Sarai. Let me show you something that the Bible says. In the future, God would tell Abram, "I will surely bless you, and I will make your descendants or your family as numerous as the stars in the sky." God kept his promise to Abram, just like God keeps all of his promises.